Here's a short video. We dived a new wreck called the Taha this week. Conditions were very challenging, and I'm not really sure why, because we had timed it so we should have very little current, but what happened, we had a medium current when we went in and an extremely strong current when we came out, so we couldn't spend as much time on the wreck as we wanted to. I haven't got any history on the Taha, but she's like a small freighter coaster. She's not very long at all, probably 40 meters, I think. I am intending to do when the conditions are better. I mean, the viz was pretty lousy, as you will see, so that's why I've called this, first glimpses of the Taha. This is just a video for the diving we did last week. We got some footage. As I said, it wasn't great, but it's enough for you to get an idea of the wreck. She lies on the starboard side. You'll see on the echo sounder scan, you can hardly see it. It's just like a big hump, and that's because most of the wreck has gone into the sand, but you can still, when you come on her, you think this is just like a barge or a hole sunk in the sand, but when you go over to the other side, then you see all the superstructure, what's remaining. She is, as you see, quite broken up, but I think in good conditions, still be a nice dive. So here we are, first glimpses of the Taha. Hope you enjoy the footage. Good morning, everyone. We're going out to the wreck of the Taha today, which is another new wreck for us. It is dived by the clubs, but we've not dived it. So nice early morning. We've got through the floating bridge. You can see in the background the sun's sinking about, coming up. So it's going to take us about 2.5 hours to get to the Taha. So we should be on there, I'm hoping, about 30-40 minutes before high tide, by which time the current should have subsided, and then we'll dive that probably through high tide, and then we're going to have a scout round for another wreck just to see if we can find it. It's not been found yet. It's called the Jamal, but I doubt if we'll dive that today. And that's it. We'll just go to the Taha now. If we see anything interesting on the way, we'll try and get some footage. If not, next you'll see me is underwater. So we've just come into the dhow anchorages. This is where all the dhows anchor, kind of in quarantine during COVID. You can see they're all there, and then they'll go into Dubai to load when they get a cargo. But again, like on last week, you can see how COVID has a big effect even on regional trade, which these dhows are engaged in. Travel up and down the Gulf with small cargoes. They will go down to places like Somalia, Yemen as well. They will go where it's considered risky for the bigger ships, because the masters and the crews have relationships all around the region. They provide a vital service. There we've got the sun rising over the dhows. Beautiful. high current on the Taha. Steve obviously didn't, the anchor was just off the wreck but had a furrow, but Badger has not come up the anchor. I don't know why, but he deployed his DSMB and he's just waiting for a pickup now, which we'll do. We'll just come up alongside him, go into neutral, switch the engines off and pick him up. Ladder down, engines off, neutral and engines off. Look at how fast he's going. There we go, recover the shot. Well, we've just finished a dive on the Taha. We found her. Wasn't what we'd call our best ever dive, but the purpose of this channel is to video every dive site we can in the UAE and the Muslim Dam Oman. So we had to do it. Depending on how the footage is, we might come back. She lies on the starboard side, but she is buried very deep. That's why on the echo sounder we could just see a hump. Widely broken up. There's a couple of entry points which we didn't even bother to think about today because the current was strong. We were diving at just before high tide. There was a medium current when we went in, but by golly, when we got down and when we came out, it was raging. We're just off to see if we can go and find the Jamal. I'm not sure if we'll dive her. I mean, the sea conditions are absolutely perfect, as you can see. But we do have a high tidal coefficient of 86 this afternoon, and we've just experienced on the previous dive quite strong current. So we'll go and see if we can find it. We'll stick the shot on, then we'll put a line in, see what the current's doing. If the current's subsiding, then we'll dive it. If not, we've got the mark, we know where it is, and we'll come back and dive it another day. Just to give you a good idea of where we are. If you look through my other videos, you can see we've dived the car barge, we've dived the SMB, we dived Abdullah's wreck last week, and we dived the Nastran with superb conditions the week before last. So Victoria Star is one of our go-to wrecks, but we're just looking today at the Taha and hopefully the Jamal. Looks very eerie. So it looks a bit like a ship graveyard or something. All these vessels, I've never ever in all my time in Dubai seen so many vessels at anchor. All here waiting for COVID to disappear and world trade to pick up again. So there you go, that was the Taha. Not the best conditions, strong current, which meant we couldn't get as much footage as we wanted because we did restrict the time of the dive. Steve was on, or the Badger was on his scooter, so he could go around and get most of the footage. I was with a wreck diving student, so we were just on fin power. So we just spent enough time underwater because the conditions were very challenging for him to complete the requirements of that dive, and we came back up the line. Good challenging dive. It was a good training dive for my student because the conditions were difficult because of the current. The sea, as you saw going out, was flat calm. I mean, absolutely one of the calmest seas I've seen going out. So we had a beautiful day on the boat. As you see, that's why there's a lot of above water footage. You know, we went through the COVID-19 anchorage where the trading dhows stay and they come in the morning to pick up their cargoes, and then they leave. And the dive site was close to the other anchorage where the bigger ships are. But you know, great day on the boat. So we did do a second dive the current had subsided, but it wasn't on the Taha. We just went and did another training dive on the big Star. I've not put that on this video, but the current had subsided, so I'll take that data and work on my project of figuring out the best times to dive in the UAE on the Gulf side. That's a project I've got going on. Eventually I'll do a video about that, so when you do go diving on this side, you can have confidence, which time of the month you should go, which state of the tide you should go, and then it'll be a lot safer and a lot easier. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Only a short amount of footage underwater, lots of top-side stuff, but what a day we had. I'm Brian Davis, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.